Pittsburgh, he wasn't the star of the show. That role fell to Lady Gaga.
A man who believes his fame gives him the right to grab one of your daughters or sisters or mothers or wives by any part of their bodies. Vote for Joe. He's a good person.
And making the political case for Joe Biden, his former boss, former President Barack Obama in Florida.
After 4 years of failure and division, we have the power to change America. Florida, you delivered for me twice. And now I'm asking you to deliver for all of us and elect Joe Biden and Kamala Harris.
President Trump didn't bring star power to his rallies during this campaign. His is a one-man show, and he's fighting for his political life.
The radical left gain power. They will collapse our economy and send Pennsylvania into a steep depression.
With that, the campaign came to a close. Now the voters must decide, Trump or Biden. It's a big day in America.
At least 4 people have been killed and 15 wounded in a series of shootings in Austria's capital. Authorities say the attack in Vienna was carried out by at least one Islamist terrorist. Europe correspondent Lucy Hoff has more.
The shootings began late on Monday evening outside Vienna's main synagogue. Police say there were suspects with armed rifles at 6 different locations across the city. One man was killed by police armed with an assault rifle and a fake explosives belt. He's reported to be a refugee who'd spent 10 years in Austria, who'd sworn allegiance to Islamic State just before the killings. 2 men and 2 women died in the attack, with 15 others injured, including a police officer.
Alassane Ouattara has been re-elected for a 3rd term in office as Ivory Coast's president after a vote boycotted by the opposition. Officials claim he won 94% of the vote, but the opposition say they will now form a transitional government and hold a new election. The city of Liverpool's going to see the first trial of whole city rapid regular COVID-19 testing in England. If successful, the government says it could be rolled out across the country by Christmas. From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets. And they all have one thing in common. Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard, that's optional. Start a story. Adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Okay, what are you wearing right now?
Nothing.
That's right. So Mommy's gonna teach you how to dress yourself. Underwear always comes first, name tag at the back, then pants, then shirt. Get the first button in the right hole or you have to start all over. Socks going first, then shoes, right on right, left on left. With shoelaces, just take the ends, cross them over, switch the loops, the rabbit goes down the hole, pull tight, and you're left with bunny ears. Got it? Why are your pants on your head?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
How's it going?
I'm having a stroke.
Are you going to shake my hand?
I'm having a stroke.
Wow, you're not even moving your arm.
I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
The storks are bringing me a baby brother. We can do this together.
All right, let's go.
Storks know how to keep kids safe. Do you?
But
Oh my gosh, you don't know.
I know.
You don't. Oh man, you laugh when you're uncomfortable.
No.
Making sure your child is in the right car seat is one of the steps to safer travel.
I will rock this.
You will rock this.
To know for sure that your child is in the right car seat for their age and size, visit safercar.gov/.
The following is a production of Fenix Media. The views expressed do not necessarily represent those of the company or its advertisers and may contain language that's unsuitable for younger listeners.
Laugh it up, fuzzball.
I'm about to do to you what Limp Bizkit did to music in the late 90s.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
There goes the last DJ.
Gentlemen, I wash my hands of this weirdness.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another brand new episode of the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. It is Tuesday, November 3rd. We're your daily dose of laughs and levity in a crazy, crazy world, especially today being Election Day. I'm joined by my co-host, Mr. Tony Sanfilippo. Tony, how was your weekend? How's daylight saving time ending treating you, and how you doing?
It was terrible. I was sick all weekend, literally did nothing but rest and try to recuperate so I could get back to work. Still a little under the weather, so if my voice turns a little froggy, I'll try to mute as much voice clearing as I can. But, you know, the daylight savings part was nice in the sense that I got that a little extra sleep. But, you know, ever since Halloween Day, I've just been under the weather. So not the best weekend, man. But I know yours was much better than mine. So.
Yeah, so for those of you who noticed, obviously we didn't do a live show yesterday. I was down in Southern California visiting my boys for Halloween, for the Halloween weekend. Had a great time with them and just had fun overall. And so made it back yesterday afternoon, got some things done. And of course, we are back now with a brand new episode for you guys. And we're going to be here for the rest of the week. So knock on wood, no technical glitches or you know, any issues there. But in any case, let's go ahead and kick things off the way we do each and every day with a question for my co-host. And actually today is a little more of a game for my co-host. Ooh. We're going to play a little bit of a headline Madlibs. So Tony, I'm going to ask you for a couple answers real quick here and see if the Madlib that you come up with is crazier than the actual story. So real quick, I need a specific place from you. It could be the name of a store or a country or something specific.
Okay, something specific. We'll just say, Sam's Club.
Okay. Sam's Club. All right, now I need a noun, just a person, a place, or a thing.
Johnny Bravo. I don't know why that popped in my head.
All right, now I need another thing, noun.
Peter Venkman.
Let's go with a thing instead of a person.
Oh, a thing?
Just an object.
An object. Okay, we'll say a Funko Pop.
All right. Funko Pop. And then finally, I need a non-specific place. So it could be a car, a room, you know, not the title of something, but just a non-specific place.
A closet.
All right. All right, so in our headline Madlibs, Tony's headline is Sam's Club's Johnny Bravo King killed with a Funko Pop in a closet. All right, that's fun enough.
Okay, that good times.
I would say that does not outdo our actual headline. You ready for it, Tone?
Ready.
All right. Russia's sausage king killed with a crossbow in a sauna.
Ooh.
I'm going to repeat. Russia's sausage king killed with a crossbow in a sauna. No, we are not making up these headlines. This actually happened. So a group of masked assailants killed a Russian businessman dubbed the Sausage King with a crossbow at his country residence in the Moscow region. Russia's investigative committee said the victim, who owns a large meat processing plant, was in a sauna with his wife when the attack happened. The committee did not name the man, but the state media identified him as Vladimir Muragov, citing his ex-wife Tatiana Maragov, who confirmed his death. They said several masked men entered the bathhouse, tied up the owner of the house and his spouse, and then demanded money. Muragov's wife managed to escape through a window and called police, who found her husband dead at the scene along with the crossbow used to shoot him. The investigative committee has launched a criminal investigation, according to the statement. Late Monday, state-run news agency RIA, words are hard this morning, Novosti reported that one suspect had been detained for questioning. So I don't think he's the sausage king of New York, New Jersey. What was it from Ferris Bueller?
For the Sausage King?
Yeah, remember when they went into the restaurant, had a reservation, and said they were the sausage king of, I want to say it was New York or New Jersey.
Oh, I forgot where they said it was, yeah.
Yeah, chicka. In any case, so yeah, just weird stuff happening all around the world, and thought it'd be fun to play a little bit of headline Madlibs to see how much crazier the actual story could be.
I like it. That was definitely a something I didn't see coming.
Somebody put me back in the fridge.
Well, folks, let's talk about today's show, shall we? It is a Tuesday. In fact, it is
Taco Tuesday!
It is Taco Tuesday, though we had tacos last night, but you know what? We were celebrating a little bit early. In any case, today we have Animal Tales, as we do on Tuesdays, sponsored by roughriders.org. We have a segment called Entitled Parents Home Learning Edition. Our call-in topic today is TSA horror stories. Obviously, I traveled over the weekend and saw some strange stuff. We have Whatever Happened to the Cast of... You have to stay tuned to find out which cast we're talking about. Of course, we close out the day with This Day in History. And up next, Tony is here with the entertainment news. Folks, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Welcome to Calvin's Barbershop.
You all gotta see this.
I don't even want to know what you're looking at on that phone.
Well, you should. I was learning about the dangers of high blood pressure and that we need to get ours checked regularly. High blood pressure can increase the risk of heart attack or stroke, but this text program can help keep it at a healthy range. Just text Barbershop to 97779 to sign up.
I'll get right on it as soon as I'm done with this baby panda video.
Text Barbershop to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
It's important to plan ahead for emergencies, like the storm. When it kicked in, we had a plan.
Separated.
We were able to get in touch with each other in no time.
Idea how to find each other.
The whole experience was fine.
the most frightening 10 hours of my life.
If there's one piece of advice I'd offer other moms out there, it's to stay calm and keep to the plan.
Message.
Some parents plan ahead, some don't. Make sure you know where to find your family in an emergency. Start your plan at ready.gov. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
I spend a lot of time in the backyard, and I'm the center of attention at summer barbecues. In '96, I made some of the tastiest s'mores. And in '09, it was me, your backyard fire pit, that accidentally started a wildfire when a summer breeze carried one of my embers into some dry brush.
Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
What if I told you that a tornado was going to happen tomorrow, right where you live? That it would touch down at exactly 3:17 p.m., and I told you the exact path it would take. You would, of course, prepare. You would talk with your loved ones, and you'd make a plan today. It's true, I can't tell you a tornado will strike tomorrow. But shouldn't you have a plan anyway? Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media. Listen live and explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us. Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix Radio Show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. And we are back, folks. This is the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. It is Tuesday, November 3rd. Now we have a little thing called the Fenix Line. It is a 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week voicemail line giving you guys the opportunity to chime in on anything whatsoever. Maybe you know the Sausage King who was murdered with a crossbow in his sauna. If that's the case, give us a call. Fenix Line is 855-FENIX-RADIO. That's 855-FENIX-RDO or 855-336-4973. Again, any topic, you can just check in. All we ask is that you keep it entertaining. We'll compile those together and put them out in a future show. Now, speaking of entertaining, my slightly under the weather co-host is here, Tony, with the San Felipe. Wow. You know what? You can tell it's been a long weekend. Whew. Tony's here.
I didn't expect you to say that.
With the entertainment news.
Good morning, everybody. It is November 3rd, 2020. It's election day. Here's your Filippo Fast Five. Sean Connery, the Scottish-born actor who rocketed to fame as James Bond, became one of the franchise's most popular and enduring international stars, has sadly passed away. He was 90.
Fatality.
Yeah, that's a sad one, but he lived a good life, you know. Not only was he 90, but he was vacationing in the Bahamas when he passed away in his sleep. So, I mean, can't complain. He had a hell of a good life. So
yeah, can't ask for much more than that.
No, definitely. Still sad, but nonetheless. Arrow Stephen. Oh, man, I'm going to butcher this. Amel?
Amel.
ML, okay. I don't know why that was hard. It's a pretty simple name. Anyways, he suffered a back injury performing stunts for a new wrestling series he's going to be in called Heels. So hopefully he gets better soon. He's used to action films, or action shows, so hopefully he gets better with that. Mel B asked to increase Eddie Murphy's $25,000 monthly child support due to her income dramatically reducing. $25,000 a month for child support for one kid.
I didn't know she had a kid from him, and I guess she's not getting that, America's Got Talent money anymore?
Yeah, my God, $25K for one kid.
That's a lot.
Yeah, and how do you know Eddie Murphy's stock isn't hurting too? I mean,
right. Well, is
he making movies? Is he doing stuff?
Actually, he just made a buttload of money with the Coming to America sequel that they just sold to Amazon Prime for $125 million. So,
well, now that's probably why she's asking for more. So,
more than likely.
That's insanity. I don't know how much it is to pay one kid for child support, and I mean, just $25K.
I can tell you, it's not cheap.
Yeah, it ain't $25K either, is it?
No. Thank God.
Oh, Colin Jost. Jeez.
Lucky bastard.
I'm going to Filippo some stuff. I am off today, kids. I am sorry. Colin Jost debuts his wedding ring during Weekend Update on Saturday Night Live, and he is now married to Scarlett Johansson. They got married over the weekend, or this last week. So kudos to him.
Yeah.
Heck of a pick up there. And lastly, in the Fast Five, in a season full of seemingly nonstop devastating injury news, the San Francisco 49ers have taken two more of their biggest hits. As sources told ESPN's Adam Schefter on Monday, quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo and tight end George Kittle are expected to miss extended time, up to 5 weeks. And they've already both been hurt this season and have come back, and now they're both hurt again. So if you're a 49ers fan, like most people that watch this show probably are, seeing as it's close to Nevada, devastating news there.
I know.
Definitely. Ouch. But that is it on your Fast Five. We'll roll into the actual entertainment portion now. AMC posts huge loss in latest quarter. AMC posted a sharp 90.9% drop in revenue in its fiscal third quarter as the theater chain continues to reckon with the fallout from COVID-19 pandemic. AMC Theaters revealed $119.5 million in revenue, down year over year from 2019, when the theater chain reported revenues of over $1 billion. AMC is now trying to raise funds to avoid bankruptcy by trying to sell shares to raise around $50 million. AMC is currently operating about 539 of its 600 domestic locations, but theater attendance has remained low during the COVID-19 pandemic. Attempts to re-energize the theater industry occurred over the summer when Christopher Nolan's Tenet was the first blockbuster released, but box office returns failed to meet expectations. Following the response, other movie producers have pushed big 2020 tentpoles into 2021. This is the first time, for the time being, AMC is focusing on raising capital and finding alternative arrangements. Adam Aron, the CEO, highlighted a deal with Universal Pictures that will allow the producer to release films digitally within weeks after a theatrical run. So it's just bad times for the theaters. It just really is tough.
It seems to me an insurmountable amount of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's if the theater chains can hang in there through however long this coronavirus lockdown takes, they'll rebound. There will definitely be a market for them once things go back to normal, but it's just surviving during this time. And, as we're seeing, some theater chains can't. What is it, Regal that went out of business?
Yeah, they tapped out. And you know what's crazy is AMC hasn't charged for, I was on their Movie Pass, their premier Stubbs rewards. I haven't been charged at all, and I'm surprised they haven't reached out to Stubbs members asking if they'd be willing to pay a discounted Movie Pass price during this time or something, just to get a little revenue. I mean, I would, just to support them. I haven't gone to it's the last time I went to a movie, I think, was Tenet. Actually, I haven't gone back. So, there's been nothing.
That's the thing. I mean, if they reached out to everybody and say half said, yeah, you know what, I would support you guys at half, 50% of what I was normally paying.
Yeah.
Then you know what, you give them some extra perks when things go back to normal, and it helps them out. I mean, that's a huge amount of money that they're just leaving on the table for people who were already supporting them that may be willing to support them in the future.
Yeah, and I mean, as a movie guy, I would be more than happy to support it. So just to keep them afloat would be nice. There was a box office report this last week. That movie Come Play did well during the holiday weekend of Halloween. It was the little boy with the iPad who could see a ghost, and the ghost comes to life. Yeah, it looked kind of creepy.
Did it?
Pretty
Okay.
all right.
All right.
It did 694,000 for the number one. War with Grandpa was number 2 at 447. Honest Thief, aka Taken 7, 389. The Empty Man, never heard of that, number 4, and Hocus Pocus at number 5. And then, of course, Nightmare Before Christmas, Spell, Addams Family, Monsters, Inc., and The New Mutants round out the top 10. Alita Battle Angel, which you took the boys to, was number 11. So
gotcha.
So there's still a little bit of a box office, but as you can tell, nothing was big drawing movies. It's better than nothing, but it ain't drawing in much. So.
Yeah, as you mentioned, I took the boys to see Alita Battle Angel, which is still a fun movie. Unfortunately, and not enough people really saw it the first go around. That I think the reason they're making a push right now is to try and get a sequel out of it, which I think it deserves. But I wasn't going to leave it up to chance with the boys. I went ahead and just got the tickets because if I gave them the choice, we would have seen War with Grandpa, and I don't think I could suffer through 2 hours of that.
No. War with Grandpa. Well, moving on to TV area of the entertainment portion here, The Walking Dead Daryl and Carol spinoff has an unexpected change. Daryl had no idea The Walking Dead was going to die. Talking on EW Live on SiriusXM, actor Norman Reedus discussed the origins of his and co-star Melissa McBride's upcoming Daryl and Carol Walking Dead spinoff. According to the actor, he talked about the possibility of it with showrunner Angela Kang as far back as season 9 episode The Storm, which featured the zombie survivors dealing with a winter wonderland from hell. I was pitching these ideas because it was kind of like after 8 years, you're like, where do you see the show going? I had an idea. I kind of threw it out there. We talked about it a lot. Melissa and I talked about it a lot, he said, adding that he and McBride were even making Spotify playlists about it. Years later, Reedus got the call that they'll be doing the show though there was also one expected surprise. The announcement that The Walking Dead is coming to an end. That kind of came out of nowhere, he said. The good news for Reedus is that The Walking Dead isn't ending for 2 years still, airing new episodes through 2022, so there's still plenty of show left. As Carol said on the most recent episode of The Walking Dead, we still have things to do here. So still coming along, but they were shocked that the original series was ending, which I think it kind of needs to all tie up.
Yeah, and to be realistic, would he have had time to do 2 separate Walking Dead series? I mean, from what I understand is the filming schedule for it is intensive. And so, just be happy that he still gets to continue on. And you know what? Hopefully they can tie up the original Walking Dead series in a nice little bow, take it out on a high note, and let it die a merciful death that it probably needs to at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. And then if you guys are Netflix streamers and you're looking for some great stuff coming out this week, some of the highlights will be A Clockwork Orange, Boys in the Hood, Casper. Should have probably come out in October, you think? Dawson's Creek season 1 through 6, Easy A. Little Monsters, that 1989 movie with Fred Savage and Howie Mandel. Ocean's 11, my favorite, Paul Blart Mall Cop, Platoon, The Next Karate Kid, and Yes Man. So those are a couple highlights of many things coming out on Netflix this week. And let's see. We've got about 12 seconds. We're on the birthday, so I don't kill you guys anymore with entertainment. I'm like Mr. Drowsy Face today. I'm like, in today's entertainment news.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Tony's melting, but you know what?
I am melting, but we'll dance on into the birthdays.
Exactly.
Just roll that way. All right. November 3rd birthdays. Colin Kaepernick, the former 49er quarterback and guy with a big afro nowadays. He's 33. He's also legendary at UNR, so that's always good. Roseanne Barr, 68. She did not run for president this year. Dolph Lundgren, if he dies, he dies. 63. Ivan Drago there. Jim Cummings, Monterey Jack from Rescue Rangers, 67. I didn't confuse him with Brian Cummings this time. Number 7, Mick Thompson, guitarist of Slipknot, is 47. Kenny Galladay, the wide receiver for the Detroit Lions, is 27. Dennis Miller is 67. A lot of people are something in 7.
Yeah.
They ending, yeah.
Lucky 7s.
Phil Simms, one of my least favorite commentators on football. Thank God he just does the pre-show on CBS. Yeah, thank God he doesn't have much. Former New York Giants quarterback. He is
67?
Close, 66. But that you still have any birthdays today. Everybody almost ended on 7. Almost.
All right. Well,
happy birthday.
That does it for the entertainment report. When we come back, it's Tuesday. We've got Animal Tales, sponsored by roughriders.org. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you guys in a few.
Okay, what are you wearing right now?
Nothing.
That's right. So mommy's gonna teach you how to dress yourself. Underwear always comes first, name tag at the back, then pants, then shirt. Get the first button in the right hole or you have to start all over. Socks going first, then shoes, right on right, left on left. With shoelaces, just take the ends, cross them over, switch the loops, the rabbit goes down the hole, pull tight, and you're left with bunny ears. Got it? Why are your pants on your head?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat. And apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable. But how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
We are live outside the home of Joe and Rosie Goddard, where a pretty big tickle fight broke out just minutes ago. Sources say their father instigated the laughter. Let's go inside for a comment. Apparently, they have no comment. Dads, let this be a reminder that it only takes a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
How's it going?
I'm having a stroke.
Are you going to shake my hand?
I'm having a stroke.
Wow, you're not even moving your arm.
I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
Hello, Kubo. What have you got planned for today?
Come on, this way.
Adventure can be found anywhere, but the best place to start is in the forest.
It's the most powerful magic there is.
Head outside to discover incredible animals.
Wow.
And beautiful plants that come together to create an unforgettable adventure. So grab your loved ones and explore a world of possibilities. Visit discovertheforest.org to find the closest forest or park to you. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
My teacher said that we should have a plan in case of an emergency. Do we have one?
First thing I'm gonna do is grab a flashlight with dead batteries.
I'm going to start randomly throwing clothes in the bag. You two will be hiding in the closet and Dad won't be able to find you.
And that's when we both start crying.
Uncontrollably. Can you pass the cutlets?
Winging it is not an emergency plan. Make sure your kids know what to do during an emergency, who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Search Ready Kids at nyc.gov or call 311. Brought to you by the New York City Office of Emergency Management and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media, the future of broadcasting. Listen live at phoenixmedia.us. Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix Radio Show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. And we are back, folks. This is the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. It is Tuesday, November 3rd. Now, we are all over social media with many of you watching us right now on Facebook Live or YouTube Live, and we're easy enough to reach on social media. You can reach me at facebook.com/Kristian Fenix Radio. That's Kristian with a K, Fenix with an F, Radio, of course, with an R, or on Instagram at Fenix Media Radio. Tony's available at facebook.com/Tony.Sanfilippo. That's SANFILIPPO.94, or on Instagram at Tony.Sanfilippo81. Now, being that it's Tuesday, and as we do each and every Tuesday, it's time for Animal Tales, sponsored by roughriders.org. Now, Rough Riders is a local 501c3 nonprofit dog rescue dedicated to the transport of dogs from the rural kill shelters here to the local metro area of Reno, where we work with local rescues and other shelters to find them homes, give them a second chance at life. If you want more information, head over to roughriders.org or facebook.com/roughridersaves. Well, with that out of the way, it is time for Animal Tales.
Dogs and the cats, they take up the middle where the honeybee hums and the cricket fiddles, the donkey brays and the pony neighs, the old gray badger sighs.
Listen to the bass, it's the one on the bottom where the bullfrog croaks and the hippopotamus moans and groans with the big to-do, and the old cow just goes moo.
Yes, the old cow always just goes moo. Well, let's go ahead and kick off Animal Tales with a lighthearted story. So, a rare yellow turtle spotted for only the second time ever looks like, well, melted cheese. Turtles don't just come in shades of green, they come in yellow too. A rare yellow version of the albino Indian flapshell turtle was just spotted and rescued from a village pond in West Bengal, India. Indian Forest Service officer Debashish Sharma posted photos of the rare yellow turtle, known as Lysimus punctatus, on Twitter last week. The Indian flapshell turtle is commonly found in South Asia countries like Pakistan, Sri Lanka, India, Nepal, Bangladesh, and Myanmar. According to the wildlife biologist Sneha Darwadkar, wow, I'm surprised I'm getting these, the rare yellow color of the turtle may be due to the lack of a pigment called tyrosine, present in high amounts in reptiles. A genetic mutation or possible congenital disorder is likely responsible for the lack of tyrosine. Indian flapshell turtles are typically only 9 to 14 inches long, and like to eat frogs, snails, and aquatic vegetation. So while it is a mutant turtle, it is not a teenage mutant ninja turtle, which is always sad. I always hope to come across, some TCRI ooze that fell into the sewer and changed
Right.
4 turtles into, what are they, party dudes? Yeah. Unfortunately, we never quite get that. But in any case, let's move on to our next story. Oh, in this next story, which sounds like it could only come out of the movie, the show Tiger King.
Hey, all you cool cats and kittens.
Oh, well, a man who paid $150 for a quote-unquote full contact experience with a black leopard says he had to undergo multiple surgeries after he was mauled by the full-grown animal in an enclosure behind a Davie home. This is in Davie, Florida. Of course, that makes sense considering both Tiger King and Florida Man. A picture obtained by Local 10 News shows Dwight Turner's heavily bandaged head and ear after the savage attack, which detectives from the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission say happened behind a home on Ernest Boulevard on August 31st. The man who lives there, identified as Michael Pogge, has a Facebook page saying he runs an animal sanctuary for rare and endangered animals. Authorities say Pogge was charged with allowing full contact with an extremely dangerous animal and was cited for maintaining captive wildlife in an unsafe condition. Investigators say Pogge charged the 50-year-old Turner $150 for a quote-unquote full contact experience with his black leopard to, quote, play with it, rub its belly, take pictures, and get his face eaten off. Oh, I added that last part. The injuries... The injuries were so severe, the report says, the victim's scalp was hanging from his head and his right ear was torn in half. Attempts to speak with Pogge at his home have been unsuccessful, and of course there has been no comment from
Carol Baskin. I mean, she's got all this time after being eliminated from Dancing with the Stars. I mean, it just doesn't seem that hard. So
it's what she is doing everything she can to stay in the limelight. She recently made an announcement that I forget exactly what it was, but it was one of those "Hey, look at me" announcements, and I don't know. I just can't get behind it. But in any case. Don't keep wild animals. Don't keep wild cats. Don't charge people to have a full contact experience and not expect somebody to get their face mauled. It just doesn't make any sense.
No, they're wild animals for a reason.
Doesn't.
Just saying.
Well, and let's move on to our final story in Animal Tales. This one's a little terrifying. Tony, let's see if you can guess the animal. A police chief in the Philippines was killed by a what?
Walk.
A walk?
Yeah, a demon bird. Walk. It's a Philippine lore story.
Gotcha.
The walks, yeah, the devil birds that come out at night. I'm gonna say, I don't know.
You actually weren't too far off. He was killed by a cock, a rooster. Police chief in the Philippines was killed by a cock.
A cock.
In a freak accident during a raid to break up an illegal cockfight when the fighting bird's blade cut open an artery in his leg. If we didn't already have to worry about murder hornets and zombie cicadas, now we have to worry about roosters cutting people open. Lieutenant Kristian Fenix, chief of the San Jose Police Force, bled to death Monday in Madugang Village after the razor-sharp blade called a gaff sliced his femoral artery. Quote, he was trying to confiscate the roosters, but the problem was the rooster's blade may have been laced with poison. Police tried to slow the blood loss by tying a cloth tightly around Bollock's leg, he added, but they may have applied it in the wrong spot. Boy, this guy had no hope. 3 farmers who had been taking part in the illegal fight were arrested and 3 others were being sought. Authorities seized 7 roosters, a pair of gaffs, and 550 pesos, about $10 in cash. Ooh, big money. Police have been cracking down on illegal cockfights as the gatherings have been blamed for helping spread the coronavirus in the central province. So they're not shutting down the cockfights because it's inhumane, because it's an awful thing to do. They've been shutting it down because it's been spreading the coronavirus, which, again, does not make any sense. Ong Chuan and the local government praised Bollock's work in enforcing safeguards to fight coronavirus. Words are hard today. They said, "We grieve with our provincial police in the loss of such a committed and selfless officer whose enforcement of our community quarantine regulations has cost him his life." It goes to show, never go head-to-head with an illegal cock. It's not going to pan out for you.
No, it's going to be a hard time for you.
Especially an illegal cock that's armed with a blade. You know, it's like something straight out of Saw.
It'll leave you stiff.
You know, it's only Tuesday, but yes, our juvenile humor does come through. But
well, I was just talking. It killed him, right?
Yeah,
so,
hey, we're not saying anything that's
when
not
you die,
true.
when you die, you get stiff.
Yeah,
like your body, it just
you know, and a deadly cock is not something to mess with. So
no.
Well, folks, that does it for Animal Tales. Be sure to check out roughriders.org at roughriders.org or facebook.com/roughridersave. When we come back, we are going into a segment called Entitled Parents Home Learning Edition. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you guys in a few.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do.
Know someone being bullied online? You can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know it isn't cool and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Allison is perfect. I mean, she'd never tell you that. She's humble and perfect. She likes everyone. She even likes her untidy roommate's weird guinea pig. Allison, wait, are you texting and driving? Allison, no. That's the exact opposite of what I was just saying about you. Why, Allison? Why? Texting and driving makes good people look bad. Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
I'm Paul George of the Indiana Pacers. When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke. So I want you to learn to spot a stroke fast. F-A-S-T. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. I'm Paul George. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
My name is Lola Silvestri, and I'm going to be 95 this year. I was very independent. I fell, and I had to have Meals on Wheels. America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media, the future of broadcasting. Explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us. Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix radio show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. And welcome back, folks, to the fourth and final segment of the first hour of today's show. It is the Kristian Fenix radio show on Tuesday, November 3rd. We still got plenty of show ahead with our whole second hour, including our call-in topic and some more fun things ahead. But in any case, if you missed a portion of this show, you want to go back and catch up on any of the previous shows, it's easy enough to do so. Head over to phoenixmedia.us, click on the show's link, scroll on down to the Kristian Fenix radio show. From there, you can get video, you can get audio as well, or head over to wherever you get podcasts, Apple, Google, Stitcher, Spotify, Anchor Breaker, TuneIn, iHeart, about 20 in all. While you're there, be sure to subscribe. That way you always have the latest episode. Leave a review, let us know what you think, and tell your friends because sharing is caring. Speaking of caring, in this segment, wanted to talk about home learning. Luckily, Tony, you don't have to deal with the whole home learning, COVID, distance learning sort of thing, but I've had my fair share with having the boys out here or going down and helping them out, and it's not easy, especially for working parents, trying to coordinate both working from home, getting the kids going, but it's also not easy on the teachers either. The teachers have a hard job. They have to try and do something that really requires a captive audience, there and in person, and doing this in a distance sort of thing like what Tony and I are doing with Zoom. You can't always hold the kids' attention. Well, unfortunately, there are a number of entitled parents who, grew up to hopefully not raise entitled children that are blasting back at teachers. And you know what? It's unfounded, and compiled a list of text messages of entitled parents who are doing such nonsense, and wanted to go through and just sort of highlight some of the stupidity that's out there.
Has the planet gone mad?
Tony, could you imagine having to do your work through Zoom? Trying to tell your crew what to do, how to do things with that distance, and then expecting them to stay on target?
No, well, number one, it wouldn't work being in retail, and trying to lead the night merch. Sorry, I'm getting all kinds of phone calls this morning. The whole night merch thing, it'd be like me saying, okay, I need you to stock this aisle, but they'd actually have to be there to do it. So, but I mean, yeah, if I was, let's say, out and because I'm sick and I have to still call the shots, and they had to set up a Zoom thing like me directing traffic. I mean, me being able to hold them accountable, there's no way.
No.
I mean, because I'm not there to check their work. All I could do is relay the task, the game plan at hand, and this is what needs to get done. This needs to happen, and there you go. But if I'm not there, I mean, I can only do what I can do, and I can only trust that they're going to do the task I give them.
Exactly. And they have certain responsibilities that they have to uphold, being grown adults with responsibilities of their own. Well, you have this entitled parent who reaches out to Miss Jackson, says, Miss Jackson, let me start off by saying that I am disgusted at the school system. Working parents shouldn't have to be teachers. That's why you all get paid. I get home, I see my child is failing. This is ridiculous. It's your job to make sure they understand. How the hell is she failing every course except math and science? Please explain before I go higher up in the chain. To which the teacher replies, good afternoon. I'm so sorry that you are unsatisfied with the school system. This time is difficult for us all. As stated, I am your child's teacher. Much like I would not have the ability to physically drive your child to school, I do not have the ability to wake your child up and put them on the computer. My role, as you stated, is to teach. Your role is to have your child ready to learn in a safe, quiet environment with supplies. On multiple occasions, I've called, text messages, text, and even come to your home because we had not been able to contact you or even lay eyes on your child for orientation. I understand your frustration. It's mind-blowing that they expect that these parents are supposed to the teachers are supposed to make sure that the kids are even in front of their computer, which it doesn't make any sense. This one says, okay, well, for future reference, I would appreciate if you do not contact my husband on Class Dojo. I guess that's the system they use. That is inappropriate and uncalled for. I handle her schoolwork, and the two of you should have no private conversation. To which the teacher replies, Your husband was contacted because his information was given to me. No conversation has ever been inappropriate. On 8 different occasions, I have attempted to reach you. You gave us his information in the event that we could not reach you. If you like his information removed, please contact the office to remove it, and I will make a note as well for future reference. At which point she responds back, and of course not in a polite, nice way.
No, it doesn't sound like it's going that way.
I just don't want you contacting him. I'm not comfortable, and I will let him know as well. If my child is not on the computer, it is my expectation that you will call me and let me know daily. I don't have time to keep up with her and all this work. Again, I am not her teacher. If you're going to give out zeros, I expect you to come here and help her. That's all. At which the teacher responds, as much as I would love to do that, ma'am, that is not feasible. I have 54 students and cannot call the parents of every student who is not logged on daily. To avoid any further confusion, you can set up an in-person meeting with administration to go over expectations. Please let me know a date and time that works for you. I will work around your schedule. Sounds like the teacher is doing everything she can.
Yeah, she's handling it like a total professional.
Yeah. And again, unreasonable, entitled parents. Again, the comeback. If I need a meeting, I would have asked you for one. Do as I ask, and we won't have any issues. My daughter will not fail because you're being lazy. And the teacher responds, ma'am, have a good night. The principal will be following up with you tomorrow. Again, it's mind-blowing that this parent just doesn't... You know, a lot of people won't take blame. You know, it's always somebody else's fault, which drives me nuts. But how do you not see what's happening here? It's just the blinders
it's clear as day,
ridiculous.
you know. Yeah, you know, it's real simple. It's the teacher's just saying, "Hey, look, I'm going to give out zeros because your kid's not logging in. I can't make your kid log in. I mean, you're at the house. You have to make sure." And the whole thing is why can't the husband make sure the wife like it sounds like the husband's great at communicating unless they're divorced or separated, and that's why the husband's being contacted. I don't really know why they think that the dad can't make sure the kid's on there. But
well, and yeah, you know, apparently the mom doesn't trust the dad, and like you said, they might be divorced, they might be separated, but she was the one who initially put him as a second point of contact, and the teacher even stated, you know, I've tried to call you. I've tried to text you. I've tried reaching out to you through the system. I've even stopped by your house, to which the lady comes back later on and says, I expect you to come over here if you can't. I got bad news for you. She did come over there, and you still didn't help out. It's nobody's fault but your own. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's nuts. And it's like, okay, so if you don't have time to make sure that your kid's up on a computer, like how in the hell were you making sure your kid was up, dressed, and ready to go to school before the whole thing?
Well, that might have been the dad's role. And, you know, again, this parent is just either being lazy or doesn't find any fault. Now, it is tough, you know, obviously being a parent, trying to help your kid learn from home. You know, my boys are 8 and 11. My 11-year-old's a little more self-sufficient. You know, he can go through, he understands most of the work he has to do, but every once in a while he has questions. But my 8-year-old, you know, you've got to hold his hand through the process. You know, he's a little bit like Doug from Up. You know, squirrel. You know, if something around the house gets his attention, he'll wander off and he'll do whatever it is. And, you know, you got to sit him back down, point him in the right direction, and really help him out. And, you know, it's just sort of an attention thing. It's an age thing. But, you know, it's not easy. But you got to understand that it's not easy for the teachers either. For instance,
no, they're trying.
Yeah. You know, there were a couple occasions when I had the boys over the summer, before the summer, and we're doing distance learning, and I caught mistakes in the assignments that the teachers put out. And I mean, clear mistakes where math obviously didn't make sense for what they were learning, whatever it may be. And I didn't freak out. I didn't yell at the teacher. All I did was responded back and said, hey, was this supposed to read this way, maybe instead of this way? And the teacher politely responded back, oh, you know what? I'm so sorry. You know, let me change that. And she sent out a note to the rest of the students making the change. And it was as easy as that. Nobody got upset.
Simple.
Nobody,
Simple.
yeah. It doesn't make any sense, which is why I often ask,
Has the planet gone mad?
Yes. Yes, it has.
So luckily my boys have gone back. They go every day now for a couple hours to in-class learning, which is nice. They get that socialization again. They get to see their friends. And it's not as hard on the teachers as well to put the lesson plan together and expect everybody to show up on time. I know there's kids in their class who couldn't make it to any of the online sessions because the parents who are working rightfully had no other choice. You know, either the kid had to come with them, they had to send them to daycare, and they had to just sort of make it up at the end of the day. But, you know, parents are doing what they got to do. Teachers are teaching the best way they can. And ultimately, we just got to all get through this together.
Yeah, absolutely. It's tough times, and hopefully in the new year, things will get better. We'll see. It's definitely weird times, for sure.
Well, and in any case, obviously, given the day that it is today, you know, hopefully we see some changes in the next few weeks that are for the better, hopefully open some things up and make lives easier on all of us.
Absolutely. Sorry, I had like a yawn right when I wanted to talk, so I had to like hold that in a bit. So
That's okay. Well, in any case, we're getting ready to go to our long break. But before we do, wanted to remind everybody, today is Election Day. Go out and vote. We're not telling you who to vote for. We're just saying go ahead and make a educated vote. Do the research, figure out, you know, who you want to vote for, what is important to you, and do your responsibility as a member of this society. Folks, headed in the long break, we will be back with our call-in topic of TSA horror stories. See you guys in a few. You're listening to Fenix Media. Listen live and explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. Look at this little face. How could you not love him?
Hamilton the Pug, Instagram star, and shelter pet. Amazing adoption stories start in shelters. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
You make sure his toys don't have any sharp edges. You taught her what to do when the smoke alarm goes off. You do so much to keep your child safe. But are you using the right car seat for your child? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Protect your child's future at every stage of life. For information on the right seat for your child, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat.
A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. So you see, son, good manners are important. Should I go through it again?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Exactly. Always say please, thank you, you're welcome, and excuse me. Sit up straight, hold doors open, don't speak with your mouth full, keep your elbows off the table. Share your things, play nice, and generally treat others the way you'd like to be treated. Got it?
Got it.
And stop picking your nose.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
I'm a retired school psychologist, and helping people was my thing. After my stroke, when Meals on Wheels started, I was on the other end of the stick, so to speak. My name is Julius Gaines, creative writer, poet, photographer.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media, the future of broadcasting. To explore our complete lineup, head over to phoenixmedia.us or like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. It's Election Day in the United States, the day that will determine whether President Donald Trump secures 4 more years in the White House or becomes the first president since 1992 to be thrown out of office after just one term. He's warning of violence in the streets after the US Supreme Court ruled in favor of Pennsylvania being given more time to count postal votes. The president's rival Joe Biden says he's ready to put America back on the path of stability. Our US correspondent Simon Marks reports from Washington.
As the campaign came to a close, Joe Biden turned to a supporting cast to make the case for his presidency. At his final rally in Pittsburgh, he wasn't the star of the show. That role fell to Lady Gaga.
A man who believes his fame gives him the right to grab one of your daughters or sisters or mothers or wives by any part of their bodies. Vote for Joe. He's a good person.
And making the political case for Joe Biden, his former boss, former President Barack Obama in Florida.
After 4 years of failure and division, we have the power to change America. Florida, you delivered for me twice. And now I'm asking you to deliver for all of us and elect Joe Biden and Kamala Harris.
President Trump didn't bring star power to his rallies during this campaign. His is a one-man show, and he's fighting for his political life.
The radical left gain power. They will collapse our economy and send Pennsylvania into a steep depression.
With that, the campaign came to a close. Now the voters must decide, Trump or Biden. It's a big day in America.
At least 4 people have been killed and 15 wounded in a series of shootings in Austria's capital. Authorities say the attack in Vienna was carried out by at least one Islamist terrorist. Europe correspondent Lucy Hoff has more.
The shootings began late on Monday evening outside Vienna's main synagogue. Police say there were suspects with armed rifles at 6 different locations across the city. One man was killed by police armed with an assault rifle and a fake explosives belt. He's reported to be a refugee who'd spent 10 years in Austria, who'd sworn allegiance to Islamic State just before the killings. 2 men and 2 women died in the attack, with 15 others injured, including a police officer.
Alassane Ouattara has been re-elected for a 3rd term in office as Ivory Coast's president after a vote boycotted by the opposition. Officials claim he won 94% of the vote, but the opposition say they will now form a transitional government and hold a new election. The city of Liverpool's going to see the first trial of whole city rapid regular COVID-19 testing in England. If successful, the government says it could be rolled out across the country by Christmas. From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets. And they all have one thing in common. Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard, that's optional. Start a story. Adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Okay, what are you wearing right now?
Nothing.
That's right. So mommy's gonna teach you how to dress yourself. Underwear always comes first, name tag at the back, then pants, then shirt. Get the first button in the right hole or you have to start all over. Socks going first, then shoes, right on right, left on left. With shoelaces, just take the ends, cross them over, switch the loops, the rabbit goes down the hole, pull tight, and you're left with bunny ears. Got it? Why are your pants on your head?
Most parenting's hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
How's it going?
I'm having a stroke.
Are you going to shake my hand?
I'm having a stroke.
Wow, you're not even moving your arm.
I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council. The storks are bringing me a baby brother! We can do this together!
All right, let's go. Storks know how to keep kids safe. Do you?
What? Oh my gosh, you don't know.
I know.
You don't? Oh man, you laugh when you're uncomfortable.
No. Making sure your child is in the right car seat is one of the steps to safer travel.
I will rock this!
You will rock this! To know for sure that your child is in the right car seat for their age and size, visit safercar.gov/the right seat.
Cool. Very cool.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
The following is a production of Fenix Media. The views expressed do not necessarily represent those of the company or its advertisers and may contain language that's unsuitable for younger listeners.
Laugh it up, fuzzball.
I'm about to do to you what Limp Bizkit did to music in the late 90s.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Here goes the last DJ.
Gentlemen, I wash my hands of this weirdness.
Welcome back, everybody, to the second hour of the Kristian Fenix radio show. It is Tuesday, November 3rd. We are your daily dose of laughs and levity in a crazy, crazy world. Still joined by my Melt Team co-host, Tony Sanfilippo. Tony, how you feeling today? Looks like you'll be staying home from work today, which is a good thing. But luckily, the fever's coming down a little bit, right? Oh, you're on mute.
Sorry. I always muted on the breaks because Chris and I can't talk in between the breaks because it'll come over the air. So I always mute it, which is probably good. I don't have a lot of voice to really chat. I want to save it for the radio. But yeah, temp has gone down a bit, which is nice. It's gone down. Let's see, on Saturday it was over 100. And then Sunday it was also in the hundreds. Then it dropped to 99 yesterday. So we're at 98 today.
All right, good.
Aggressively going back down the other way. So that's good. Yeah, so today it'll be a lot of rest, and hopefully I'll be more peppy and zippy tomorrow. So we'll find out.
Yeah, get plenty of rest, fluids, soup, orange juice.
It just sucks.
Emergency.
The Ironman streak ends today.
Yeah.
I haven't. I've been at that location for over 2 years, and only one sick call because of the snow. But that one didn't count against anybody, which was great. So I put an asterisk on that because I had to call out. Where I lived, you couldn't see the road 5 feet in front of you. But if the COVID thing wasn't a worry, then I would probably, the regular Tony would just probably tough it out and take Dayquil and just go. But
yeah, you got to do what's right for
you gotta be smart.
everybody. Yep.
Yeah, you got to be smart and do it. See, the radio is easy. I just got to roll out of bed, kind of make sure the hair looks okay, somewhat have a voice, and put a little energy in it. Now, the energy I have is not a whole lot. This is definitely not my most 100% effort, being honest. But, I'm here, happy to do the show. And how are you doing for this second half? You ready to kick some ass?
I am. Luckily Tuesdays I get to do a little more of the heavy lifting. Monday's a very Tony heavy sort of day. Same with Thursdays. So, Tony gets to sit back, enjoy, and just interject where he needs to, and hopefully take a little bit of the stress off of him while he's feeling a little under the weather. But folks, this is the interactive portion of the show. This is where we want to hear from you guys. Now, what we've been doing is we've been setting up the call-in topic the day before, putting it out on our Facebook and social media, giving you guys a chance to call in and chime in on the Fenix Line so that way we can play your calls the next day. The Fenix Line is 855-FENIX-RADIO. That's 855-FENIX. RDO or 855-336-4973. Of course, you can always chime in live if you are watching our live Facebook video. Head over to facebook.com/Kristian Fenix Radio. Click on the live video and chime in there and let us know what you think about our interactive question or topic of the day. Today's topic is TSA or airport horror stories. The reason this one comes up is I was traveling over the weekend, went to go see my boys. For the most part, it was pretty straightforward, pretty easy. For me, I've done so much traveling over the years, especially for as long as we've had the TSA, and pretty much know the routine. Go through, take off my belt, take off my shoes, put everything in, take my laptop out, stick it in a separate thing, goes through, never really have any issues. Of course, it blows my mind that there are people out there who struggle with understanding what they need to do in the line. But for the first time, they pulled my bag off to the side and, pulled me over and said, do you mind if we search it? And I had a feeling I knew what the issue was. So I had packed my toothpaste tube, which was only half full. It's about 5.6 ounces when it is full. So at about half, I figured, it's 3 ounces or less. And so he goes through, he pulls out the tube and says, a lot of people go based on, what's printed on there, but I can see you have halves. Just know that you may have to throw it away. And I said, if I have to throw it away, it's a $2 tube of toothpaste. It's not that big of a deal. And went on my merry way. But as I'm getting my shoes on, there was another family who had this plastic case. They opened it up, and there's a machine in there. And of course, they had another little plastic case that had sort of needles and tubes and all sorts of weird things. And of course, TSA's pulling this thing apart and trying to figure out what it is. And the mom is trying to explain that it's either like a home dialysis machine for her kid or something along those lines. But I felt so sorry for her having to deal with this as they're pulling it apart, having kids with her, and then, essentially having to put everything back in there. It's crazy. But I feel bad, and I know that there are other people out there with TSA or airport horror stories that can sympathize. Tony, you've done a bit of traveling. Anything come to mind on your end?
Yeah, there was one time when you had the horror story. The one big one that came to my mind was when I was with my ex-wife. I forget where we were going, but I had just used. She had this Mary Kay like glittery lotion. It was some girly lotion thing, whatever. So my hands were dry, and of course, she's like, "Hey, do you want some lotion?" And so I put some on. That was why we were in the car, because it was this big tube. She didn't bring it with us.
Okay.
We didn't check it, but it was in the car. So I put on this lotion. So we go through the security checkpoint. That machine where you stand and you got to hold your hands like this, and it does like the 360 thing. So you do that, and I'm wearing cargo shorts, so I already get patted down for the cargo shorts, because anytime you wear those, it's too puffy, and it always flags you on something, like, because they're baggy. So I got the pat down, but then this guy pulled me aside and said, "Hey, can you come with me?" And I said, "Sure." So they pulled me into a room, not just off to the side to go through my bags. My bags were fine. They pulled me to the room, and I tested positive for explosives.
Did you really?
So yeah. So they had to go through I brought my bag in there, and they were rummaging through my stuff. My ex-wife was allowed to come like there and stuff, and they swabbed me. Well, it turns out the material in the lotion is what triggered it. So, but we almost made us late, dude. It was lengthy. It was like 15, 20 minutes of explaining, like, I don't know, like, what's going on. They had to keep running some tests, and they were swabbing, and it was all this weird stuff. And it was probably in the mid 2000s. So it wasn't too far from 9/11 to this point, so they were being extra cautious. But yeah, I came, the lotion, that Mary Kay lotion, something in it, I guess, resonated with, and that triggered an explosive thing. So it was definitely scary in the sense that I didn't know what the hell was going on. I thought I was going to get a full body cavity search, because you hear the joke,
right?
That, a la Wayne's World, you need a full cavity search. So yeah, it was very stressful, and we were almost late for our flight. I do remember that. I just don't remember what trip. I don't know if that was our Hawaii trip that we went to, or if it was to Florida to go to the Bahamas. It was one of those two, but very stressful.
Yeah,
very
either way,
stressful.
Luckily you made it to your flight, you made it to your destination. But yeah, that's always scary when they pull you off to the side or into
even
a
better.
room.
Not only did that happen, but they actually had to call the plane and let them know we were on our way. So we were the last two to board because of that. They had to actually tell. So everybody's watching, and the flight was a little delayed because of it. But TSA had communicated with them so that way we didn't get left behind. But Oh, buddy, it was stressful. worst experience I've had by far. 10 out of 10 would not do it again.
I'm sure. Well, folks, that's what we're looking for. We want to hear your TSA or airport horror stories. Chime in now on our Facebook page at facebook.com/Kristian Fenix Radio. Just go to the live video and let us know what your horror story was with the TSA or in an airport or on an airplane. Folks, when we come back, it is all about you. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a few.
Welcome to Calvin's Barbershop.
You all gotta see this.
I don't even want to know what you're looking at on that phone.
Well, you should. I was learning about the dangers of high blood pressure and that we need to get ours checked regularly. High blood pressure can increase the risk of heart attack or stroke, but this text program can help keep it at a healthy range. Just text Barbershop to 97779 to sign up.
I'll get right on it as soon as I'm done with this baby panda video.
Text Barbershop to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
It's important to plan ahead for emergencies, like the storm. When it kicked in, we had a plan. We were able to get in touch with each other in no time.
Idea how to find each other.
The whole experience was fine.
the most frightening 10 hours of my life.
If there's one piece of advice I'd offer other moms out there, it's to stay calm and keep to the plan.
Some parents plan ahead, some don't. Make sure you know where to find your family in an emergency. Start your plan at ready.gov. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
I spend a lot of time in the backyard, and I'm the center of attention at summer barbecues. In '96, I made some of the tastiest s'mores. And in '09, it was me, your backyard fire pit, that accidentally started a wildfire when a summer breeze carried one of my embers into some dry brush.
Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
What if I told you that a tornado was going to happen tomorrow, right where you live? That it would touch down at exactly 3:17 p.m. and I told you the exact path it would take. You would, of course, prepare. You would talk with your loved ones, and you'd make a plan today. It's true, I can't tell you a tornado will strike tomorrow, but shouldn't you have a plan anyway? Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media. Listen live and explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us. Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix Radio Show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. Welcome back, folks. This is the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. It is Tuesday, November 3rd. We are smack dab in the middle of the interactive portion of the show where we want to hear from you guys, the listeners. Chime in on our Facebook live video over at facebook.com/Kristian Fenix Radio. That's Kristian with a K, Phoenix with an F, radio, of course, with an R. Topic today is TSA or airport horror stories. Of course, we heard Tony's. We got mine, which wasn't too bad. But, it's one of those things we all have to deal with if we want to travel. We have Kendra who chimed in, said, boyfriend brought a drone to Costa Rica. He had tools with him, so I was trying to explain what the tools were, how they were used in a language I don't speak. We were there for a really long time. I almost left him. Left him for good as a boyfriend, or left him as just at the airport to deal with the Costa Rican.
Bye, Felicia. I need a Bye, Felicia soundboard.
Ooh, there you go. That's a good one.
Bye, Felicia.
So, yeah, you know, it's a lot of times they just don't understand some of the stuff you bring with them. And it amazes me some of the illegal stuff that I know people fly with that they never catch. And
yeah,
there's no rhyme or reason. If you look suspicious, you'll probably get pulled over to the side.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and that's the thing too. Like, people fly back with like beers. You're not supposed to fly back with that. And I think, at least I don't think you're supposed to.
Yeah.
People smuggle stuff. Yeah.
Kendra replied in Costa Rica, so she didn't almost leave him for good. She almost just left him there. Tony,
okay.
Anybody chime in on your end as far as TSA or airport horror stories?
The Yendras, and it's more not so much a security, but it is a travel airport horror story. They said they don't have an issue with TSA because they do TSA pre-check. They've been doing that for, I want to say, about 4 years now. I could be wrong, and it has worked out for them very well. Obviously, they have their little daughter and now son, so that's going to be extra easier with the kiddos. But yeah, they've always no issues going through security because they go through the nice line. So they always tell me to do it, and I'm like, nah, I just don't.
Well, with as much
I put myself through there.
Yeah, as much traveling as you do, Tony, it might be worth, you know, taking the time to apply for it, and you know, it just makes life that much easier.
Absolutely. Would have saved me on that last trip to Nevada where I slept late, and and now living in Fort Collins, it's a lot harder to get down to DIA. But yeah, their horror story goes back to 2019, where we were going to Disney World. We had this big trip. I mean, we had big plans. So we all wake up, and then in a panic, we all meet up at our friend Jim and Renee's house. And what had happened that morning is, you know, the weather was a little rainy or whatever. Well, a big hailstorm came through and just pulverized our plane that we were supposed to fly out on Southwest. Like, it got damaged. So then we get this thing saying your flight is now delayed. And this is like a red eye. This is all 6 a.m. We're all at Jim and Renee's, tired, packed, ready for Disney. And then we're like, okay, well, should we jump on the flight? Now we're panicking because we don't know. Everyone's on the phone with Southwest to try and figure out what the hell to do next.
Right.
Well, then Mike and Lacey, they're the brave ones that jump on the next flight. They just move their flight. So now we're all paranoid and pissed. So we push our flight back to like the 10 o'clock one. I think they jumped on a 7 o'clock or something. Well, then as they get closer, their flight gets canceled. And now the next flight is not till the next day. So then Mike and Lacey, you know, I think we had all kinds of festivals planned that night. And of course, you know, the rooms that are booked and all that stuff that comes into play. Now we have to fix with Disney. So Mike and Lacey were like, screw this. They've got a flight out of Omaha. So then they had to drive 9 hours in the rain to Omaha. Yeah. So they, instead of spending the day with us, they hauled ass up to Omaha, jumped on a plane, got there. Now, they did get there before us, which was great. But what a nightmare headache. Like, we got to go the next day, but I remember it being the most stressful day, not actually at the airport. It was stressful in the sense of everybody's emotions were running high, everybody's disappointment. We were going to go to like a luau dinner thing that night. Denny had this firework cruise thing planned that evening, and there was so many festivities that were going on that evening, and it just all went in the toilet because of this hailstorm. But Southwest didn't tell us that. We didn't know what the hell was going on. It just kept, flights were booked and delayed. So then we're wondering like, oh crap, should we have jumped on that flight with Mike and Lacey? And oh my God, it was just a stressful day. We ended up going to see, I think, I'm pretty sure we all went and saw Aladdin that day at the AMC in Brighton. We all hung out. Mike and Lacey obviously did not. They were hauling balls back to Omaha
right.
to catch their flight. But just stressful because they drove down from Holdridge, Nebraska, which is 5.5 hours, to fly out of Denver, only to have to turn around and go 5.5, but then to go all the way to Omaha is like a 9-hour drive. It's just, what a nightmare. So their story, just huge.
Yeah. I mean, delays, delays are one thing. There's some things that are just out of your control, but when the airline fails to communicate with you or help you out, that is extremely frustrating. And that's the reason I won't fly in or out of San Francisco unless I'm actually going to San Francisco as a connecting flight, because it is always delayed. Yep, Tony's rocking his giant shirt today.
Yeah, just totally ironic. How ironic, don't you think?
I mean, I have been stuck there for 2 days because the fog never let up. And it's just frustrating. It's not a whole lot of fun. But let's see. Kendra also chimed in, said, traveling to Alice Spring, Australia from Sydney. I made my flight, but my luggage didn't. I went to work on Monday in my sweats because I had no clothes. The Qantas missing luggage bag is delightful. I try never to check my bags. Even if I'm going on a long flight, I will get it into a carry-on because I don't trust what airlines do with our checked bags. Sometimes they don't show up. Sometimes they go through them. It's frustrating.
Yeah, even with your magical little passcode lock, they could still get in.
Yeah.
They still have special keys to get in because I want to say one of my flights, I think it was a flight home from Nevada, when it was a little too heavy and stuff. There was a note, there was like a letter in there saying they had went in my bag. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess they have a magic key to get in, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, or they cut the little locks or whatever it is they do. But yeah, if it's out of your hands, out of your sight, you never know. It's yeah.
Can be stressful.
Exactly. Well, folks, that does it for our topic of TSA horror stories. Tomorrow's call-in topic is, when is it okay to start decorating for Christmas? Here's a hint, not the day after Halloween. Folks, when we come back, we have a segment called Whatever Happened to the Cast of? Stay tuned to find out. We'll see you guys in a few.
Okay, what are you wearing right now?
Nothing.
That's right. So mommy's gonna teach you how to dress yourself. Underwear always comes first, name tag at the back, then pants, then shirt. Get the first button in the right hole or you have to start all over. Socks going first, then shoes, right on right, left on left. With shoelaces, just take the ends, cross them over, switch the loops, the rabbit goes down the hole, pull tight, and you're left with bunny ears. Got it? Why are your pants on your head?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat. And apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable. But how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
We are live outside the home of Joe and Rosie Goddard, where a pretty big tickle fight broke out just minutes ago. Sources say their father instigated the laughter. Let's go inside for a comment. Apparently, they have no comment. Dads, let this be a reminder that it only takes a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
How's it going?
I'm having a stroke.
Are you going to shake my hand?
I'm having a stroke.
Wow, you're not even moving your arm.
I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST, F, face drooping, A, arm weakness, S, speech difficulty, T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
Hello, Kubo. What have you got planned for today?
Come on, this way.
Adventure can be found anywhere, but the best place to start is in the forest.
It's the most powerful magic there is.
Head outside to discover incredible animals.
Wow.
And beautiful plants that come together to create an unforgettable adventure.
Hey!
So grab your loved ones and explore a world of possibilities. Visit discovertheforest.org to find the closest forest or park to you. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
My teacher said that we should have a plan in case of an emergency. Do we have one?
First thing I'm gonna do is grab a flashlight with dead batteries.
I'm going to start randomly throwing clothes in the bag. You two will be hiding in the closet and Dad won't be able to find you.
And that's when we both start crying.
Uncontrollably. Can you pass the cutlets?
Winging it is not an emergency plan. Make sure your kids know what to do during an emergency, who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Search Ready Kids at nyc.gov or call 311. Brought to you by the New York City Office of Emergency Management and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media, the future of broadcasting. Listen live at phoenixmedia.us. Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix Radio Show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. Indeed. This is the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. It is Tuesday, November 3rd. Now, we talk about it a couple times each show. It is the Fenix Line, a 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week voicemail line inviting you guys to call in, chime in on anything whatsoever, including our call-in topic.
Got mail.
Exactly. Our call-in topic for tomorrow is, when is it okay to start decorating for Christmas? And like I said, it's the day after Halloween is not the day. But let us know when you think it's okay to start decorating for Christmas, or what drives you nuts about people who decorate right away, right after Halloween. In any case, go ahead and chime in on the Fenix Line. That number, 855-FENIX-RADIO. That's 855-FENIX-RDO or 855-336-4973 for the alphanumerically impaired. All we ask is that you keep it entertaining. We'll compile those together and put them out in a future show. Now, in this segment, wanted to talk about whatever happened to the cast of, well, in this case, inspiration hit me last night watching Monday Night Football, which, quick little side tangent, the Monday Night Football commentating crew is the worst ever. Masters of, yeah. All they do is state the obvious. It's not like watching Tony Romo, who's just a wonderful commentator since he stepped into the booth, but, I can't stand the Monday Night crew.
Well, look now, when he scored the touchdown, he caught the ball. That's a touchdown. That's 6 points right there. Now, see, in that next play, it wasn't pass interference because he wasn't around the ball when it was thrown.
Now, on this next play, they can either run the ball or they can throw the ball, or the quarterback can keep the ball and decide to run the ball himself. Well, what other options are there?
Yeah, and Antonio Brown starts on, he's going to be with the team on Sunday. Antonio Brown, he'll be suiting up on Sunday.
Right.
Don't forget about Antonio Brown on Sunday.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times I had to hear that last night too, huh?
It's frustrating, but it actually turned out to be a pretty good game with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers against the New York Giants, and today's Whatever Happened to the Cast of Little Giants. A fun movie that Tony and I grew up with, hit theaters on October 14th in 1994. And, there are obviously some big stars to come out of it and some little-known stars.
The Icebox.
Oh, including the Icebox. But let's go ahead and start off with some of the more well-known. Of course, Ed O'Neill, who everybody knows from Married with Children, a wonderful movie Dutch, and then, of course, more recently, Modern Family. Plays ex-football star Kevin O'Shea in Little Giants, running tryouts for the town's Pee Wee football team, cutting anyone showing the slightest incompetence. Before his acting career, O'Neill had played college football on a scholarship and was actually drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers at one point. I had no idea.
Wow.
O'Neill has since spent the last 11 years starring in Modern Family, which just wrapped up its run. He was nominated twice for Golden Globes, 3 times for Primetime Emmys, and since May 2019 holds the record for starring in the most episodes of any network sitcom. His other major project, of course, was Married with Children, which he starred in from 1987 to 1997. I didn't realize that went 10 years. He has also played Detective Michael Mooney in Big Apple, Lieutenant Joe Friday in the 2003-04 reboot of the crime drama Dragnet, and Governor Eric Baker in the series The West Wing, and voiced the character of Hank, the octopus, with a missing tentacle in Finding Dory. So Ed O'Neill, obviously, he's been up to quite a lot. The other big name to come out of that movie is somebody who hasn't been up to quite so much, Rick Moranis. Coming off hits like Ghostbusters and Little Shop of Horrors. Yep. Moranis was cast as Danny O'Shea in Little Giants. Unlike his winning is everything older brother, Danny muses to his young charges in the film. Who said you had to be good to play football? You play football because you want to. You play football because it's fun. You play football so you could pretend you're Joe Montana throwing a touchdown pass or Emmitt Smith going for a long run. And even if those Cowboys are better than you guys, even if they beat you 99 times out of 100, that still leaves one time, which I think we can all take to heart in this day and age. Moranis later starred in comedies like Big Bully, Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves, and of course, Honey, We Shrunk the Kids. Widowed in 1991 after his wife's death from breast cancer, he decided to take a break from acting to focus on raising his children. In an interview with Hollywood Reporter in 2015, Moranis revealed, "I took a break which turned into a longer break. Besides famously turning down a cameo in the 2015 Ghostbusters reboot, Moranis has mainly done voice work, notably for Disney's Brother Bear and Brother Bear 2, and launched 3 comedy albums, You, Me, The Music and Me, The Agoraphobic Cowboy, and My Mother's Brisket, and Other Love Songs." And he's actually won Grammys for those projects. And of course, we saw him recently with Ryan Reynolds in a cell phone commercial, which is a little strange and out of the blue. I know he is going to star, or at least be in the upcoming Honey, I Shrunk the Kids reboot with Josh Gad. And with fingers crossed, we'll see him in the new Ghostbusters movie as well.
Yes, which, quick side tangent, since Halloween, I've been watching Ghostbusters. I decided last night just to give it a try. It's been a while. I watched Ghostbusters reboot, Answer the Call. It was bad. It just was so bad. I'm sorry. I went in again like, okay, well, I'm going to open mind this and just watch it. And oof, Leslie Jones is it just is so bad.
Yeah. And
so bad. Chris Hemsworth's awesome in it still. But it just there was a lot of things wrong with that movie. I forgot Ozzy Osbourne was in it too.
He was. A lot of people blasted it because they thought, oh, an all-female remake. It wasn't even that. It was just poor writing and didn't capture the tone of the original Ghostbusters.
No.
I mean, the first one was just so well written, so well crafted, the first two, but not so much this one.
Oh, gosh, it was so bad, man. I wanted to say something nice, like, it didn't age that bad. It's actually pretty good. You should watch it. Nah, don't go back and watch it. It's pretty bad.
Well, moving on with whatever happened to the cast of Little Giants, we move on to Shauna Waldron. Waldron captured our hearts as the spunky tomboy Becky Icebox O'Shea. Despite being one of the best players, she is cut from Kevin O'Shea's elite team, unfortunately on the basis of gender, which we were just talking about. Undeterred, she convinces her father, Danny O'Shea, to set up a rival team, which later adopts the name Little Giants. Little Giants became Waldron's feature film debut when an earlier film, The New Kid, was never released. The following year, she played the President's Daughter in The American President and also took roles on TV projects, Family Rules, and Ladies' Man. Waldron has also starred in horror films such as Stitch, Night Lights, and Dead Man Rising. And didn't see any of those, but, good for her for at least making somewhat of a career out of herself.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I love this movie as a kid. I just always thought it was cool. She was the tomboy girl. And, didn't she have a crush on the little quarterback she got signed?
Oh, yeah. Who we are talking about next. And the actor, Devon Sawa, who was huge in the 90s and then seemingly disappeared. Well, the Canadian actor played Junior Floyd, the cute quarterback who gets recruited to the Little Giants team. Becky O'Shea later develops a crush on him. Self-described as ex-teen heartthrob in his Twitter bio, at least he has a sense of humor about it. Sawa recently played a role of Lester Clark Jr. in Escape Plan, The Extractors, alongside with Sylvester Stallone and Dave Bautista, 50 Cent, Jin Zhang, and Harry Shum Jr. Other projects included Final Destination, Primetime Emmy-nominated Nikita, Somewhere Between, an episode of Hawaii Five-0, and of course the Eminem music video where he played the real Slim.
Yep.
He has two.
You know what's?
I was going to say he has.
I actually thought he committed suicide. I'm glad he did not.
I think that was one of those internet rumors that turned out not to be true.
Yeah, thank God. I had heard that. Go, oh man, that sucks. But yeah, I'm glad that's not true.
He has 2 children and often tweets funny things about them. He might be worth checking out. All right, and then we had Todd Bosley. Bosley played the small-built Jake Berman, the little nerdy kid in Little Giants. Last year, Bosley tweeted, "Little Giants was my first big acting gig, and the 5 months we spent making it felt like the greatest summer camp ever." After Little Giants, Bosley acted in 2 episodes of Seinfeld and took on the role of Howie in Scrubs. In 2001, he played the lead role in the film Lloyd. From 2016 to 2018, he worked on Game Shakers, a sitcom about 2 12-year-olds who started a multi-million-dollar gaming company. I think that was on Nickelodeon. More recently, he's been focusing on voiceover work as well as appearing in commercials and various TV shows. So, he's been...
He looks just like he did when he was a kid. It's creepy.
Yeah.
Because it's that... He's kind of like that meme with the kid that's like... they just put for everything.
Right. And of course, he was the comic relief of that movie. So much fun. And then finally, with whatever happened to the cast of Little Giants, you have Sam Horrigan. Horrigan played the talented but arrogant Spike in Little Giants, who starts out the scrappy Little Giants team but later switches allegiance to the elite Urbania Cowboys. After Little Giants, Horrigan played Quentin Kelly in ABC series Grace Under Fire, which starred Brett Butler, Casey Sander, and twins Dylan and Cole Sprouse. He also appeared in CSI, True Blood, Modern Family, and School of Rock, the television series. And this guy looks like he was a model, just like chiseled out of a stone. And I'm trying to think of what else he was in that's not listed on here. I want to say he was in Van Wilder as one of the fellow frat guys that eats the unfortunate donuts, cream-filled donuts, if you remember that scene. But,
yeah. Oh, yeah. Bulldogs!
But he's had a good career, and so have many of the other stars of Little Giants. Well worth going back and checking out. But in any case, that does it for this segment of Whatever Happened to the Cast of, in this case, Little Giants. Folks, when we come back, it's the final segment of the show where we drop a little knowledge, hopefully make you laugh at the same time. It is time for This Day in History. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you guys in a few.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do.
Know someone being bullied online? You can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know it isn't cool and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Allison is perfect. I mean, she'd never tell you that. She's humble and perfect. She likes everyone. She even likes her untidy roommate's weird guinea pig. Allison, wait, are you texting and driving? Allison, no. That's the exact opposite of what I was just saying about you. Why, Allison? Why? Texting and driving makes good people look bad. Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org, brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
I'm Paul George of the Indiana Pacers. When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke. So I want you to learn to spot a stroke fast. F-A-S-T. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. I'm Paul George. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
My name is Lola Silvestri, and I'm going to be 95 this year. I was very independent. I fell, and I had to have Meals on Wheels. America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media, the future of broadcasting. Explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us. Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix radio show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. Welcome back, folks, to the fourth and final segment of the final hour of the Kristian Fenix radio show. It is Tuesday, November 3rd. Yeah, we made it through with a few bumps and bruises. Tony melting over there. But you know what? I think we ended the show strong, but it's not over yet. We still have this day in history. However, if you missed a portion of the show or you want to go back and catch up on any of the previous shows, it's easy enough to do so. Head over to phoenixmedia.us, click on the show's link, scroll on down to the Kristian Fenix radio show. From there, you can get video, you can get audio as well, or head over to wherever you get podcasts. Apple, Google, Stitcher, Spotify, Anchor Breaker, TuneIn, iHeart, Doozer, Dozer, Geezer, Gozer.
Are you a god?
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
And of course, Austin Powers saved us from the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. So we live to fight another day.
Make you corny, baby, do I? I saw a meme where they put Austin Powers' face on Jonathan Davis's face. Over his face, it says, "Do I make you corny, baby?"
With a K.
Yeah.
I love it.
Do I make you corny, baby? Do I?
While you're there, be sure to subscribe. That way you always have the latest episode. Leave a review. Let us know what you think. And tell your friends. Because why, Tony?
Sharing is caring. Unless it's a cold, then stay home and don't be a rooster about it.
Yeah.
It ain't fun.
That's the one thing you don't want to share. What we
don't share that.
What we do want to share is what we do each and every day in the final segment of the show. Drop a little knowledge, hopefully make you laugh a little bit. It is This Day in History.
Reversing the globe for the stories that turn the world on its head. It's This Day in History with your correspondent on the beat,
Kristian Fenix.
Thanks, Siri. All right, kicking off This Day in History. This day in 1534, English Parliament passes the Act of Supremacy, making Henry VIII and all subsequent monarchs head of the Church of England, ruling with an iron turkey leg.
Oh, Henry VIII, oh, I'm in a smart turkey leg. That's right.
Apparently, they didn't believe in the separation of church and state, which, obviously something had to wait a couple hundred years to get here in the U.S. And even now, we're not even really getting, but that's a whole another story. Here in 1752, this day in 1752, George Friedrich Handel undergoes a failed eye operation. He was a composer, and could you imagine getting eye surgery in 1752? No, thank you.
No, like, how would that go? Oh, yeah, it's all my work on your eyeball here. Just gonna do a little... Well, sorry, you're now blind. Yeah, right there. Nope. Okay. Don't worry. It's on us. We're not gonna bill you. It's all good.
I got news for you. I'm hesitant to get anything eye-related here in 2020. Back in 1752, no way. I'll go blind.
Yeah.
I'll let the thing rot out of my head. There's no way.
Yeah, not worth it.
All right, moving on. This day in 1783, George Washington orders the Continental Army to be disbanded. Obviously, there was no need after we earned our freedom, we earned our independence, and, fact, after that, our normal armed forces started being set up, and we enjoyed the liberties that we have today, including voting, which today is vote day? Voting day.
Do it. Election day.
It's election day. Go out and vote. Be heard. You know who wasn't heard?
Palpatine.
This day in 1793, French playwright, journalist, and feminist Olympe de Gouges is guillotined. Back in the day when they loved chopping people's heads off.
Goodbye.
Yep. Never quite understood it.
Choppy.
Moving on, this day in 1796, John Adams is elected as the second president of the United States of America. And my boys never like to let people not know of the fact that they are descendants of John Adams, the second president of the United States. So they've got that going for them.
That's their claim, baby.
Yep.
I mean, Dad does a popular radio show on a up and coming network, but John Adams is the claim to fame.
That is their claim to fame.
For now.
Speaking of presidents, this day in 1868, Ulysses S. Grant wins the U.S. presidential election over Horatio Seymour. Ulysses and Horatio, both great first names that we need to bring back.
Yeah. President Seymour Skinner.
This day in 1899, world heavyweight boxing champion, no, not the stand-up comedian from Australia, Jim Jeffries, but rather James J. Jeffries retains the title, beats Irishman Tom Sharkey on points in 25 rounds at Coney Island Athletic Club in Brooklyn, New York. And of course, back in those days, you had to put up your dukes. He didn't have an awesome handlebar mustache, but many, many people did.
It was like Glass Joe from Punch-Out.
My favorite was always King Hippo. You punch him in the stomach and his pants fell down.
Yeah, he was your only guaranteed knockout the whole game.
Yep.
Like, all you had to do is get his chubby butt down.
No, Glass Joe. Glass Joe was always so easy.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Well, he was. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Because
once you knocked down King Hippo, he never got back up. He always just stayed down.
Fair enough.
But like Glass Joe, if you didn't whip his ass in the first like 10 seconds and really rock him, typically he got back up. So, yeah.
Oh, fun video game reminiscing.
Oh, Punch-Out. It's just badass game.
Yep. Moving on, this day in 1911, Chevrolet officially enters the automobile market in competition with the Ford Model T. Speaking of Chevy and Ford, Tony, would you rather have taken a Chevy over a Ford at this point?
Yeah. Yeah, like a rock. I don't know. Yes, my Ford experience has not been the best. So, but it's back up and running. I can't complain. I'm getting around again.
There you go. Brand new engine.
Yeah. Brand new engine.
All right. Moving on, this day in 1930. This one doesn't make a whole lot of sense. The Bank of Italy is renamed Bank of America.
That makes the perfect sense. I mean, come on, man. Makes the most perfect sense.
All right, moving on, this day in 1941, Hirohito's accord on Yamamoto's attack plan on Pearl Harbor fails. Yeah, we're getting close to that December 8th attack on Pearl Harbor. Apparently, they had one other plan before that, but luckily that didn't go through. Unfortunately, just a little over a month later, it did. So
yeah,
sad times.
Crazy.
Sad times.
Very sad.
All right, this day in 1952, Clarence Birdseye markets frozen peas. Obviously, right around that time is when freezers and refrigerators were becoming all the rage, and you could freeze things that had to be fresh before their time. And so frozen peas, I think, were the first to be up on the block of frozen foods that people refuse to eat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Peas. Yum.
This day in 1956, The Wizard of Oz is first televised on CBS television. Obviously, it was a movie from 1939, I want to say.
Did it have the little person in the background that supposedly hung himself? Did they show that?
Ooh, that would be a great topic to cover, is urban legends about movies.
Movies, we should do that, yeah. Because that was always the thing. There was like the little stagehand, the little munchkin that was in the background and supposedly hung himself.
Right.
I saw the scene, and they say it's not, but it looks different.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Yeah. There's something there. But
Yeah,
is
something
it,
going
is it
on
what
in the
people say it
background.
is? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely something going on back there.
This day in 1957, the Soviet Union launches Sputnik 2 with space dog Laika aboard, a mostly Siberian husky, the first animal in space. And of course, she didn't come back. Poor Laika.
But she went to space.
Yeah, she was definitely a first. Boy, a lot of election ones that, just don't really care about. Here's one that
I like those odds.
is a sad thing. This day in 1984, the body of assassinated Indian Prime Minister Indira Gandhi is cremated. And I think Indira was related to Mahatma. Don't know in what respect, but yeah. And then finally this...
In a cara de vida, baby. That's all I thought of during that last part.
Finally, in 1987, this day, Oakland A's first baseman Mark McGwire wins the American League Rookie of the Year with 49 home runs, 118 RBIs, second to win the AL award unanimously behind Carlton Fisk from 1972.
Yeah. And it bums me out is you look back and he was so skinny and he was able to do all that. I think the natural raw talent of Mark McGwire's always been there. The guy has been a phenomenal baseball player, and unfortunately he did some things that weren't banned at the time that may have enhanced, but it just sucks that he doesn't get into the Hall of Fame for all that. Guy was a hell of a player, man.
Oh yeah.
I think him and Sosa, they saved baseball in '98, so
I agree.
disappointing how they're snubbed out.
Folks, before we head out for the day, let's run down a couple of today's holidays. For instance, today is Election Day, obviously, but it is also National Skeptics Day, which I don't know if that quite goes hand in hand. It is National...
your person doesn't get voted in, your windows get smashed in. That's the way it goes.
Let's hope not. It is Cliche Day. Every day is sort of a little bit of a cliche. It is Give Someone $1 Day. It is National Housewife Day, World Jellyfish Day, and National Sandwich Day. I'm going to go get myself a sandwich before heading down to the polls.
Philly cheese.
Ooh, there you go. Folks, we'll be back tomorrow with a brand new show. Words Are Hard Wednesday. Have a great Tuesday. Go out and vote. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
You're listening to Phoenix Media. Listen live and explore